Welcome to the Tony Frida Show. Tony Frida here, and welcome to another edition of Thought Crime Thursday. If it's Thursday, it's Thought Crimes. And so, speaking of thought crimes, I thought maybe you're thinking, is he really guilty of thought crimes? Or is he just saying that to sound cool? I'm guilty of many, and I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you a few of my thought crimes today, just to show you my bona fides as a thought criminal. So my most infamous one was this cover I co-designed with the great C.J. Hopkins. You can see the little evil symbol behind the COVID mask. And C.J. tweeted this cover, and it resulted in multiple charges in Germany from the Berlin prosecutor for disseminating Nazi propaganda. Now, there's no Nazi propaganda in this book. I guarantee it. And they know that. And they also know it's protected by the satire laws of Germany. They don't care. They're trying to put him in prison. They came to his house. They interrogated him and his wife. They seized his computers. They're trying to make an example of CJ, to say anyone who questions us or questions official narratives is going to prison. And a German prison is not a fun place because it's full of bad people. Very, very bad. So we have to pray that CJ doesn't suffer the ultimate fate for this thought crime. And I'm a co-conspirator, and I feel guilty because I don't live in Germany, so I'm okay for now. That's number one. Number two was this book cover I did for the great Cindy Sheehan, which resulted in some banning and censorship and claims of racism because I showed Obama in a slave collar, and people said that's racist. But see, this is forward by Larry Pinkney. He's one of the founders of Black Panthers. I asked him, is it racist? And he said, no, it's not racist. So if a Black Panther says it's not racist, that's good enough for me. The name of the book is The Obama Files, Chronicles of an Award-Winning War Criminal. Thought crime number two on the top 10. Let's see. Thought crime number three. This is one that a lot of people don't know about. This was a portrait I did for the Wall Street Journal of Xi Jinping, loving Xi Jinping, and this ostensibly conservative journal is saying in this article that singing the praises of the CCP and this guy. Now, we can't get myopic. It's like, because they're saying since Trump is, Trump, that Xi is going to, Ping is going to run the world, and what a wonderful thing it's going to be for everybody. People get so myopic, like, okay, yeah, Trump's doing a lot of bad, stupid stuff, especially this war in Iran. But that doesn't mean this is a good guy, okay? He's bad, very, very bad. And I know Chinese people, and they tell me. So I did a little something in this. I don't tell anybody. But if you look really close at his tie, if you can see it. See those, the skulls in there. Because he kills people. Ask the Uyghurs. Ask anybody who questions anything about his government. There was a meme going around in China a few years ago showing Xi Jinping as Winnie the Pooh, right? I mean, it's Winnie the Pooh. It wasn't like they're showing him as a devil or a demon, or so. It was sort of just a tribute to him that the Chinese people thought was humorous and cute. He didn't think it was cute, and he put a ban on it. And I'm sure some people went to prison over there for that if they persisted in posting that meme of Xi Jinping as a Winnie the Pooh, lovable little Winnie the Pooh, and his honey jar. So imagine what Xi would do to me if he saw my illustration of him with the skulls in his tie. I'm telling you what he'd do. I'd be either killed or put in a Chinese prison, and they'd probably come arrest my family and anybody who knew me and knew about it too. So yeah, he's not Winnie the Pooh, okay? He's more like a dangerous, rabid grizzly bear. There's some of my other thought crimes. This is one. This is the time the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, defamed me, calling me extremist and a horrible person because I was. This was March 2020. I was saying that if people they're going to start, they're going to make a vaccine mandatory, and if you don't take it, you're going to lose your job. And they said I was a crazy person, an extremist, and I'm going to lead to violence. And by the way, I was right about everything. But I'm a bad person. And this put me on a list that got me censored and banned from every platform. So thank you for defaming me, Anti-Defamation League. Not so anti when it comes to me. So it's not about me. There's plenty of people who are, suffering the same fate as I am, and much worse, like CJ. So I'm lucky I don't live in Germany or China, because I'd be in a lot of trouble. These are some things I want to show you. I take these children's books, like Wonders of the World, and then I kind of do my own thing with them. This is a whole thing on Epstein and a bunch of other fun topics for children to learn from. Burning churches in Europe. It's always fun. This is the real Twin Towers, Epstein's temple. Let me see. There's a good one in here, I think. Oh, this is a really scary thought crime. Now, this could actually get me killed, okay? So don't tell anybody. I did a portrait of this guy. His name is Muhammad. And according to Islam, he was a perfect person that we should use as an exemplar for our lives. But then when you read the Sirah, which is his biography, he talks about robbing and murdering and raping at scale. So he really wasn't a perfect person, but he was a real human being. And I did this portrait of him. It's not disrespectful. It's just a portrait of an actual human being who lived, because I'm not a Muslim. So your laws don't apply to me. You might say they do. Sorry, they don't. And you're not going to tell me what to draw, all right? Because that's not how religion works. So you want to take a fatwa out on me? Go ahead. I'll tell you where I live. That brings me to another point. This is something that really pisses me off. Now, there was a 1987, the artist Andres Serrano, you might have heard of this. He photographed, he took a crucifix and put it in a jar of urine. He called it Piss Christ. Lovely title. And after he did it, he got a $15,000 grant from the NEA for his wonderful piece. He became celebrated and famous and for this controversial piece. He sold these things. He sold multiple prints for between 150 and 277,000 a piece at Sotheby's, because it was a photograph, so it's just you can keep selling prints of this thing. So he made millions of dollars defiling Christ, defiling Christianity. I mean, now imagine, just imagine, if I took a Quran, I would never do this, but if I did, took a Quran and put it in a jar of urine and put it in an art exhibit. You think I'd survive the day? So it's a double standard. You can defame and defile Christianity and get celebrated and make millions of dollars and everybody loves you. Try it with Islam. Just try it. A little homework assignment. Just see what happens if you put a Quran in a jar of urine. I'm sure people will love it. You won't survive the day, but be worth a shot. It's a good social experiment. This is another one of my little books, Forbidden Information. Again, I take these children's books. This is the Baal Files. So in this, I kind of detail the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein, loving Jeffrey Epstein, and a cabal of baby-eating demons around the world. It's true. And I tell some truth about Islam. Sharia law. I didn't write the law, but I told some truth about it. And those are called hate facts. They make me a bad person and could get me murdered. Oh, I said a really bad thing in here. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I said a bad thing. I said white lives matter. Somehow that makes me a bad person too. I don't know why. I think black lives and white lives matter, but that makes me a bad person. There's another one I'm working on. The Little Book of Sharia. Isn't she cute in her little burqa? This one points out Muslim principles like taqiyya. So a kafir is anyone who's non-Muslim. Taqiyya is a principle that is outlined by Muhammad, in which you're permitted and even encouraged to lie to kafirs, non-Muslims, as long as it advances the cause of the caliphate, spreading Islam to the world. And when they say Islam is a religion of peace, first of all, Islam, the word means submission. And when they say Islam is a religion of peace, what they mean is that the world will be at peace when everyone's Muslim, and not until then. So I kind of go through some of the loving principles of Islam, like female genital mutilation. That's a good one. Where they hold down little girls and slice off their genitalia, their clitoris, with a razor blade. It's usually the grandmother that holds them down. I'm sure that doesn't traumatize the little girl at all. I'm sure it's fine because they don't want women to have pleasure during intercourse because they're pathologically misogynist. There's a little piggy where pork is unclean. It is haram. Can't eat pork. If you do, you're a bad person. Oh, dogs are haram too, so they don't like dogs. They're unclean. Then I go through some of the, child brides. Muhammad was the perfect person, and Muhammad married a 6-year-old. So you can do it too, because he's the perfect person. And I know this is very controversial stuff, but I'm on the side of good. I'm on the side of what's right. I'm on the side of just live and let live. You want to live as a Muslim, I'm not stopping you. Go for it. Just practice your religion, adhere to it as you see fit, and just leave me alone. That's all. Just live your life the way you want. I'm all for it. I don't care how many Muslims there are. I don't care what they do. Just leave me out of it. And that's the problem with Islam. It's not just a religion. It's a political system, and they want people who are non-Muslim to adhere to Sharia law. And it's just we're heading to this civilizational war. I think it's going to be a massive war between Islam and Western Christendom, and they're ready for the war. I don't know if we are, but it's going to come to that tragically, and unfortunately, we're gearing towards that. All we can do is pray for peace and try to work to tell people the truth. It's not a hate fact to tell people the truth about Islam in its own words and in their own scripture, because it is anathema to Western values of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, women's rights, women's equality, homosexual rights, on and on and on. It just is not compatible. I'm sorry. I wish it was, but it's not. And that's just the truth. So, like I always say, here on the Tony Frida Show, you're going to get the truth, and you're going to get someone who's brave enough to tell it to you. And if they whack me by the end of the day, so be it. But I don't just go after the Muslims and Xi and the COVID Nazis. I try to be an equal opportunity offender. So this is I made a journal about 9/11. And there's old George Bush. and I collected some. This is actual pieces of ephemera I collected from when I was downtown Manhattan in 9/11, and there was these tragic missing persons posters everywhere downtown, thousands of them, and we all know what happened to those people. I saw what happened to them. But I collected all this stuff off the streets of New York, and then I made my own little thing. If you could read that, some people did some things. That's what AOC said about 9/11. Some people, I don't know if it was these people, but I think it was partially in tandem with our government. There's another one of my thought crimes. This piece questions the official narrative of 9/11. It's now in the permanent collection of 9/11 Museum. This was something Newsweek wrote. How did truth or art enter the 9/11 Museum collection? How dare they? And I like being called a truther because that's what I am. I want to tell the truth. And what's the opposite of a truther? Oh yeah, a liar. And that's the people who told us their version of 9/11. Inside job. Yeah, it was. It was an inside job. So I get into some pretty controversial stuff here. But I don't like this guy either. So I kind of go after him and Hillary. They're like the twin towers of evil in this piece. They both wanted to bomb Iran, by the way. Trump just got to it first. This is Bin Laden versus Rothschild. Problem. Reaction. Wait a second. This was the reaction to 9/11 between these guys and those guys. And what did it lead to? The solution was this. Problem, reaction, solution. The solution was war. 7 wars that they outlined in the Project for New American Century, and Dick Cheney and his buddies. They're going down the list, and Iran was one of the last ones on the list. They did Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. They got a few more, but what's happening now in Iran is so tragic because it's such an unforced error for Trump, and it's a humanitarian disaster that's just getting started. I mean, what we're going to see, unfortunately, I think is more economic ruin, maybe global depression. Israel's back bombing the hell out of the Middle East because what they want to do is form this Greater Israel project. So they're making incursions into Lebanon. And now they're talking about attacking Turkey. I mean, this is going to be a massive conflagration in the Middle East that's just disgusting and despicable, totally unnecessary. Bibi Netanyahu went to the guy who said he's never going to start another war. He said these Middle East wars are crazy and stupid. We spent trillions of dollars on them. Trillions of dollars in the last 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan and now Iran. And tell me one way Americans have benefited from it. There's none. I mean, we could have taken the money, trillions of dollars. I think it's $8 trillion if you add it all together, and could have helped people in this country who are needy. Could have fixed up the infrastructure. We could have helped people pay for school and for healthcare. And God, I mean, trillion is a lot of money. It's a million. So it's a crime against humanity, and it's just the fact that we're paying for it with our tax dollar is just adding insult to injury. Because that money and all the thousands and thousands of poor kids that just thought they were just signing up, to protect their country, they're used as just cannon fodder, and it's they come back broken in body and in mind and spirit, and their lives are ruined if they still have a life. Come back with no legs. 26 of them a day commit suicide. This is demonic. This is something that is shameful, and it's being done in our name. And what Trump's doing now is one of the most despicable betrayals of campaign promises I've ever seen. Because he said, I'm not starting any new wars. He said it hundreds of times. And he did the exact opposite. Totally unforced war of choice. And it's not going to be over for a long time. And if they send in ground troops, it's going to be a nightmare. Iran said, you think Vietnam was bad? This is going to make Vietnam look like a joke. Iran is 10 times the size of Vietnam. 90 million people. The whole thing is like a fortress. It's like on mountains higher than the Rocky Mountains. And the whole thing is like a giant fortress. And they've been preparing for it for 40 years for this invasion and this war. They're ready. And they're ready to die defending their homeland. And if we go in there and try to take Korg Island, or Kem Island, I forget the name of the other island, but there's 2 islands that on the outskirts of in the Strait of Hormuz or near the Strait of Hormuz that Trump wants to take. It'll be a nightmare. I mean, it took hundreds of thousands of guys months to take Iwo Jima. You know, they're going to talk about sending in 10,000 guys, and this is within range of the Shahed drones, and it'll be a bloodbath. So we have to pray that there's no boots on the ground. I know Israel's pushing for it, and I know Trump thinks that he can win this thing militarily. He can't. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a dark, dark nightmare. And China, back to Xi, is just biding its time, waiting. So basically, the Ukraine war was to set up Russia so they use all their military and all their missiles and all their drones and all their tanks and all their soldiers, just have them all wasted and destroyed in Ukraine to soften them up for this war that Europe wants with Russia. So once they're kind of in a weakened state militarily, they'll be much easier to take on by Europe. They're distracted, they're broken, they're worn down, their supplies and their ammunition and their hardware is all depleted and their infrastructure is bombed. So they'll be much easier to softer target. That's the real purpose of that war. Just like, and China, which is opportunist, China sees that Trump's doing the same thing in Iran. We're using all of our hardware and our military and our missiles and all of our defense weaponry. And we're distracted with this, and it's just going to get worse. So China is just waiting for the right moment to invade Taiwan because America is totally depleted and distracted with this war with Iran. And China is going to go in. They're going to go into Taiwan, and then what do we do? And I mean, they're telling the chip makers in Taiwan to move to America because they know something's coming. Something's coming, and China's just waiting for the right time. Probably when this war escalates in Iran, which is it's about to. And again, I don't know what else to do except pray. We don't have the power to stop these maniacs. They do whatever they want, and they do it in our name. They've disgraced our name. They've disgraced our reputation, and they murdering school children and innocents. They're not just, I mean, I don't care about the mullahs. Those are bad guys too. I mean, let's not get myopic, right? Israel's done horrible things, genocide, everything else. That doesn't make the mullahs, little sweet cutie pies. They're not. They're bad dudes too. There's more than one bad actor. Xi Jinping is not a fun little Winnie the Pooh, okay? He's a dangerous, dangerous criminal. And we're in a very precarious situation. I think we're on the precipice of World War III. It's not going to be like the last two wars, but there's going to be these massive brush fires in the Middle East and in Taiwan and God knows where else. So maybe Europe and Russia. So it is going to be a world war, but just a different sort of world war than multiple theaters, totally different axis and alliances than we had in other wars. So buckle your seatbelt because it's going to be crazy. I mean, we are walking into crazy times, and I'm going to keep committing my thought crimes until they put me in prison or they come and kill me. And I don't know what else to do. I mean, just all we can do is get the truth out there and pray for peace and work for peace. And the more truth, the more we can shine a light onto the truth and spread the word of true intelligence, true facts. All the intelligence officers told Trump before this war, it's a terrible idea. They war gamed it for 40 years. All the computer models said this thing is going to end in disaster. And they were right. And he just fired the people that told him that what he didn't want to hear. So, and Bibi was over there 7 times convincing him. I think Bibi did some kind of high-tech mind meld or, voice to skull brainwave mind control, because something happened. The guy totally flipped the script, and I don't think he was lying for 10 years telling us he didn't want a war. I think it's more complicated than that. I don't know if he's demon possessed or if his mind has been altered by some sort of high-tech mind control technology. I mean, we're in a sci-fi movie. This stuff is not like fanciful anymore. It's happening. They have plenty of people talking about it. Remote viewing and mind control techniques. They just had a hearing last week about MK Ultra in Congress, and the stuff is real. And they're talking about MK Ultra, which is the CIA's mind control program they designed to make Manchurian candidates. Talking about they're using that now on mass scale. They want to manipulate all of our minds using AI, using high-tech technology that we're not even aware of. So we're in dangerous times, and I'm praying for humanity. I'm praying for us to listen to our better angels and to shine a light in these dark places, to illuminate them, and to fill the darkness with the Spirit of God, with the Holy Spirit, with the spirit of peace and love and understanding and diplomacy. And it might be too late, but I'm going down trying. I know you all are too. And I thank you. I pray for you. Thank you. And peace.